Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Warren Brothers Sports Show. My name is Mark Warren. I am your host. Every time. What's going on? Come on. That sounds better. All right. Well, this is the Warren Brothers Sports Show here on the Warren Brothers Broadcasting Network. I am your host, Mark Warren. We are here on the YouTube. And there it is. The intro music. About damn time. Good job, music. Plenty to talk about today. Penn State suffered their first loss of the season, losing to the Ohio State Buckeyes in a college basketball on Monday night. The final score in that contest was 71-52. How's that? I don't know. Maybe that's better. Seems better. All right. We're going to stick with Ohio State, though. Let's talk Ohio State football, in which they defeated the Penn State Nittany Lions 28-17. Got a little close there in the third quarter due to some fumbles. The Buckeyes got a mild case of the fumbleitis in the third quarter, but they went on to victory. Maybe talk a little hockey. The Blue Jackets have a home game tonight against Philly, playing the 76ers. Pretty good. I'm sorry, that's basketball. What'd I do there? Facing the Flyers. You got Sixers, you got Flyers, you got Eagles. Eagles fly. I don't know. Philadelphia. It's the hockey team, though. That's who the Columbus Blue Jackets are playing. I did that because I wrote the Cavs thing right underneath. But they're playing against the Orlando Magic at home tonight. They have magic. As if you use magic, you could fly, I suppose. And it's Orlando and Philadelphia. I was nowhere near close on either one of those. I'm still a little under the weather. I mentioned that on Sunday, which I think I did. There is virtually nothing going on in baseball. There have been like 3 or 4 free agent signings, a trade or two. Like I just read this one trade. Like the Yankees traded a pitcher the other day to the Brewers or something, or the Mariners for cash and stuff. And what was it that the other trade today? Really not important. The only big things are that the White Sox have signed 2 guys. So they have a catcher in Yasmani Grandal, and they re-signed their first baseman, Jose Abreu. We knew Abreu wasn't going to go anywhere. But the big thing, recap the Browns-Dolphins game. That's the biggest thing we're going to do today. And, of course, traffic and weather, news, and the commercials. Because, need help paying those bills. Let me see here. Because if I start off with Browns, we'll wind up just talking Browns the whole time. And it's all just going to be Browns. And you can expect phone calls from Paul whenever it is he feels like doing it. Because that's Paul, and that's what he does. So make sure I'm prepared for that. Fun stuff with the Browns Steelers week. Not that I'm going to get into the game as of yet, because it's not until Sunday. But this stuff has just been brewing, and it's right there at the surface. It's reaching ahead. Oh my, that's I got blocked by one Steelers fan on Twitter already. You can't do either thing with a Steelers fan. You can't be more clever than them. and then you can't play their own game with them, where you're just as dumb because that's when they try to take the high road. And it's like, well, why was I playing down to you this whole time, doing the lowest common denominator jokes, making fun of your fat sister, because apparently you're just the old one. Steelers Twitter. You notice there's no Pirates Twitter? Not a lot of Pittsburgh Pirates fans. There's Browns Twitter. Hey, we still cheer for our crap football team. You guys can't cheer for your awful baseball team? You go 50 years without a championship. Oh, sorry, Pittsburgh's longest drought as the city was only 35 years between 1925 and 1960. So long ago that no one remembers it anyway. And that the majority of the Steelers' dominance was 74-79. And that they've been good. They've been the Cleveland Indians of football for the last 15 years. Is that right? Whenever they beat the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. And even that Steelers team wasn't necessarily that they were good. They had a really good defense. They had a decent rookie quarterback who didn't lose them any games. Didn't, kill them each time they went out there. That's your big Steelers news for the week. That Tomlin's not dumb. I think he's a guy who does a better job of choosing his words wisely than, say, Freddie Kitchens does. You'll know what Kitchens means, but he doesn't always use the right word. Whereas Mike Tomlin, yeah, he's saying, he's saying a lot of stuff. Mason Rudolph played his way out of start as the starting quarterback. Devlin Hodges, Duck Dodgers of the 21st century. I figure that's where he gets the nickname, because he's Delvin Hodges. And it's Buck Rogers and Duck Dodgers. He's always ducking and dodging. It's Daffy Duck is a cartoon from Warner Brothers like 50 years ago. So Ohio State defeated Kent State in college basketball. This is key to me. Kalen Bennett, he was playing in the last minute of the game. Mop-up time, like I predicted he probably would, because it would probably be a blowout. Kent State was within 3 or 4 early in the second half. They clawed back a little bit. They played well to start off. They played well to start the second half. I mean, Ohio State's just a better team. They're a huge program down there. So Kent State, of course, you're going to have some issues. But they held their own. Eventually, Ohio State built up a lead. And, my favorite player in all of basketball right now, Kalen Bennett. He played the last minute. He got a rebound and scored 2 points. I didn't get to see a highlight of it. I watched all the way through the whole damn highlights. I'm assuming he got to put back 2 points. Kid's 6'11". The only play that I actually saw him in was he got the ball after Ohio State scored. He passed it in. So real awesome for him, actually getting into the game against big, mighty, as they were like 10th ranked Ohio State coming into the game. And unfortunately, I don't know Kent State's next game. I didn't see that. I bet you I could look it up real fast, though, which is what I'll do, because I am a big Kent State fan. There's the show, which I'm on now. Screw it. I don't have a window open. Well, anyway. Why would I have a window open? It's cold outside. That's not that cold. The weather's later. Not now. So big ups to Kent State, hanging in with one of the best programs in college basketball at the moment. I shouldn't even say one of the best, but probably one of the better ones. I mean, if you're ranked 10th, well, that means there's 9 that are definitively better than you, right? Well, that's a good parlay into Ohio State football. At least it's the way I wrote it. I don't know. Maybe it's crap. It's garbage. I have no idea. But when I write things, I write them in whatever order I feel like writing them in. But your Ohio State Buckeyes, they defeated the Penn State Nittany Lions this past Saturday. A noon game. I'm tired of these noon starts. It's too early. 3:30. And not because I'm lazy and I'm sleeping in. And my day's just getting started. Blah, blah. I'm up at like 8 o'clock. 8, 9 o'clock most days. Most days I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I want to sleep for 2 more hours because I fall asleep till like midnight or something. Because, I don't sleep well. Sick, I don't sleep well. Whatever. It's no big deal to me. Just telling you how it is. It's wintertime in Cleveland. You don't know a single person who doesn't have like some sort of sniffles. Name me a person who doesn't have the sniffles this time of year, and I'll tell you somebody who's doing drugs. And it's probably illegal drugs even too. Probably just like some Dayquil. I'm not even taking that nonsense. See, I'll complain about being sick, but then not take stuff. That's just me. So, Ohio State, they defeated your Penn State Nittany Lions minus the fumbleitis early on in the third quarter. Dobbins lost one, Fields lost one. There was a third one, pretty sure. And Penn State made it close. It's 21-17. I wasn't getting nervous. I mean, I don't worry about a score until it's about.
Are you being really quiet today?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I just wondered. Usually I can kind of hear you. I can barely hear you today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's not important. I'm just mentioning it just in case you're having a problem with it.
Okay. Well, I'll speak up just in case.
Check your audio is all I'm telling you.
Okay. Well, here, let me check on the handy dandy thing here. Make sure the audio's coming through all right. It'll allow me. So I'm live now. All right. So I've got that going for me. I have one watching, which isn't me apparently. Hey, that was me talking. Now you hear it in stereo. Well, we won't do that because it's annoying. Hopefully I wasn't the one watching me already watching me. Hey, now there's two. I'm the other one. I just do this crap at school all the time, school station. So the fumbles made it close in the third. And again, I don't get too concerned when it comes to things like that until it's later in the game. And midway through the third quarter isn't late enough to worry, especially since Ohio State put together a drive, scored their fourth touchdown of the day, and went on to win. Final score being 28-17. Josh Fields is doing it all. Guy was running, ran the ball 21 times for 68 yards. A lot for a quarterback. 16 passes, or 16 receptions, 16 completions on 22 attempts, 188 yards. So not his most stellar passing day. He has been better, but threw 2 touchdown passes. J.K. Dobbins had 2 touchdown runs of his own, and even with the penalties, they sure force-fed him the ball. 36 runs for 157 yards. He was the most notable offensive rushing threat with Fields second. And Major Teague didn't run the ball very much. I think he only had about 4 runs for 10 yards. I forget. That one I didn't write down. But Hill and Olave each had touchdown receptions. Hill had 4 receptions for 46 yards. Olave, 2 for 44. And those were your touchdown grabs by Ohio State Buckeye receivers. 8. Was it 8? Was that the Buckeyes game or the Browns game? 8 different receivers caught passes. That was in the Buckeyes game. Browns game, there weren't a whole lot of different guys catching passes. But yeah, the Buckeyes game, 8 different guys caught passes. That was pretty cool stuff. Teague even had one. Everybody was getting involved. Those 2 other guys whose names I don't always remember. But Ohio State's looking good. 11-0 over the Penn State Nittany Lions. Have dropped to 9-2 now. A former they were right there in the thick of things in the college football playoff just 3 short weeks ago, and now their season is all but over because Minnesota is going to represent the one side of the Big Ten, most likely. I think they've already clinched that, and I think Ohio State. It's an important game on Saturday. Face that one team that they play. All I know is 12:13 p.m. and that team still sucks. But in those respects, another noon start. At least 3:30. This is a prime time kind of game. Go out, watch the game. Now, I'm not doing that at noon on a Saturday. Stuff to do. Type of person who just go out at noon on a Saturday and watch a football game anymore. Can't do it. So anyway, what we're going to get to next is traffic, weather, and news. First of all, in the traffic, I don't care. I mean, like, seriously. This is not a day to even leave your house, to think about leaving your house. None of that. It's the day before Thanksgiving. I bought all my stuff yesterday. I spent over 3 hours out in that nonsense just yesterday. That was the day before Thanksgiving. Today, good luck to you. Should have waited till now. Especially if you're buying a turkey now. I mean, jeez. Start running it under hot water as soon as you get home. That's the traffic. Just think what the weather's going to be like. 56 degrees, that's your high. It's cloudy, it's raining. More reason to not go out driving in this nonsense. There's a 70% chance of precipitation. So it's going to rain. And it's going to reach a low of 37 degrees tonight. So it's going to get chilly again. This is the big thing. Is I'm watching the news yesterday, on the TV. And they're treating it like it's Armageddon. The worst snowfall in Colorado history is occurring, and it's going to affect us now. Like we are in so much trouble. We're in so deep. I'll tell you what, myself on this one. Well, I'm not that big of this. Knocking stuff over. Come on. All right, so that's your traffic and your weather update from the Warren Brothers Traffic and Weather Center. All right, that's better. All right, now that we're back over here at the Old Brooklyn News Desk, in the news, the people who came up with Happy Holidays, they wanted to no longer give specific distinctions to Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or anything else, now want to rename Thanksgiving Turkey Day. So Turkey Day will be the new name for Thanksgiving. No more Christmas, no more Thanksgiving. It's just Happy Turkey Day and Happy Holidays. And there you go. That's your news for today. I guess I should do a live read, huh? Because this one's important to me anyway, because with this live read, this is what I'm telling you. Play this damn song here. That lets you know I'm probably going to get into football when we come back from this. Yeah, there's your football intro music. Before that, I want to remind everyone, go to patreon.com. Watch the show. Enjoy my, just wholesome entertainment as I wait on Paul's phone call. He's supposed to be here, I think. I couldn't follow all of his. You've heard him talk. I don't know what he's talking about half the damn time. But when you're done watching this, go to patreon.com. Type in Warren Brothers Broadcasting Network in the search there, and get more quality programming like this Warren Brothers Sports Show, the Sunday Super Show Sausage Fest Spectacular Show, The Calm in the Storm. We may even do a second episode someday, and an Apathetic Afternoons. You're going to come up whenever I can, get a guest. That would have to make that happen. For just $4 a month, you head on over to patreon.com, Warren Brothers Broadcasting Network. Follow my Patreon-only blog. I blog on the Patreon, and it's special content just for you. And once you contribute, that makes you a producer, and you can tell me what you want. I mean, you tell me to get off my ass and finally start. Well, Paul's not here to do the Craptastic Shorts show or the cooking show that I have in development, or finally just finish getting this stuff together to do Man versus Booze. Say, I demand to watch whatever this Man versus Booze idea you have is. Go make it and edit it. Come on, Mark. Get it done. And that's for you to tell me to do on the Patreon. Because, I need you to help a brother out. Because we're the Warren Brothers. So for just $5 a month, your subscription, and you spend more than that daily on nonsense. Instead of going and buying a pack of organic e-cigarettes, you can go and subscribe. That lasts a full month. Your e-smokes last you that day. So patreon.com, Warren Brothers Broadcasting Network. It's good for me. It's good for you. Anyhow, I guess we could just go right on into Browns talk because, who cares about hockey and basketball? There's really virtually nothing happening in baseball. I told you the White Sox have signed 2 dudes. That's it. So we'll talk Browns, Dolphins recap, Browns, Steelers preview, all sorts of the biggest game of our football lives, blah, blah, blah.
The biggest game in football history.
Well, at least until next week.
Oh.
Well, until the week after that and whatever else. Especially
with the Super Bowl, right?
The toughest thing about it is, like, if the Browns win this game and a couple other things happen and all of a sudden people are like, we're going to be in the playoffs. It's going to happen. I've laid out a lot of things because, first of all, I'm good at math. I don't care how cocky I sound by making such a bold claim. It's not really that bold a claim even. It's literally just the words, I'm good at math. I'm good at math. It's all it is. I played out the scenarios. I've got them on one of these. I write out index cards of things all the damn time. It's how I live my life. I'm weird. It's what I do. And I've got one of them laying around in the other room. And it flat out has a very simple scenario where the Browns make the playoffs. Real easy stuff. This isn't hard. It's not rocket science. It's just math. It's a little bit of math. And it's fun because, like, then you hear the local guys on the actual stations delve into it a little bit. And and they go from every end of the spectrum from, we could be in the Super Bowl. We'll be hosting play. Well, I think someone... No, we wouldn't host a playoff game. So we're beyond that. The Ravens have shown... how the hell are the Ravens? Beat the Rams 45-6. Played against a team that was in the Super Bowl last year and crushed them 45-6 on Monday Night Football. What? I thought the Houston Astros were the only professional sports team that was cheating. The hell are the Ravens doing? How are they doing this? It makes no sense. I watch some, I listen, I try to pay attention, and I'm like, I don't get it. How's this dude who's that wide open? He shouldn't be that wide open. It's literally like basic grade school, high school, college offenses. Their defense is pretty good, though. That was the thing. I don't think I gave the Ravens defense enough credit. That's on me so far as my thoughts go. So they're what, like 9-2 now? Something really stupid like that. They might be the best team in the AFC. Oh, hey, the phone's ringing. I'll bet you it's Paul, but we'll see. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Caller? So is this you, Paul?
Yeah, it's Paul. Yes.
Well, what's going
I'm in Cincinnati, and I'm about to go. I'm on my way home.
Wait, Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Well, so great. After the numerous times of surpassing the state of Ohio, you're finally back in the state of Ohio. Yay! Paul's back in Ohio. So since now even though Pittsburgh was only 2 hours away, and now you're in Cincinnati, which is 5 hours away, and it took you 3 weeks to get from Pittsburgh to Cleveland, which never happened, and you're actually even further away somehow. What do you think? We see you in another 6 weeks? 3 months?
No, maybe more like six hours. Don't be a smart Alex Baldwin.
You could be in Cleveland in 6 hours?
pending because it's a busy time. And I do want to tell you about my job interview at WKRP.
Go right ahead.
Okay. The main man was not there because he was doing a promotion for turkeys. He's hoping to. He was dropping turkeys at a shopping center.
Like frozen dead turkeys? That could be really bad. It would land on people and kill them.
Turkeys.
Oh, they were live turkeys. Oh, so they just flew.
Well, he said, as God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
Oh, I'm sorry. Turkeys can't fly?
That was an interesting day.
So the head
Interview was with the second in command person. That was poopy hair.
So you don't remember his name? So you think the interview went well, even though you never bothered to learn Travis's name? You can't hear me?
I'll try again.
This happens all the time. I don't even know all this stuff with him. Let's see if I can hear it on here. Yeah, I hear him there. All right, we're trying this again. I'm not even putting you on speaker this time and see if it works. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right.
It's Paul again. I don't know what's going on, but
right.
yeah, there was turkeys flying and falling at the same time.
Uh-huh. So
and I was in luckily I missed that.
All right. So
but so yeah, what were we gonna say?
Well, wait. I want to hear if I can hear you. I'm not even putting you on speaker this time and see if it works. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right.
It's Paul again. I don't know what's going on, but
well, I hear you on the playback, which means
okay.
Oh wow, so you're very loud in my earphones now. And maybe I'm not putting you on speaker anymore because maybe it's because when I put you on speaker you can't hear me. I don't understand. And fourth or fifth different thing I've done with this thing, there's always something going on. Although it's the fact that you can never hear me, so I'm gonna blame you for that.
Fine.
So anyway, I mean you're finally back in Ohio, and so all right. I'm glad your interview went well with the fictional guy that you don't remember the name, Travis of. Yes, I've said it twice now, so hopefully you should remember it. And the guy who owned the station went up in a helicopter and was dropping turkeys down on waiting fans. And just like him, I thought turkeys could fly. So apparently he's dropping these living turkeys, and they become missiles headed down to the earth, and hopefully no one was hurt.
No, there were no fatalities.
Well, no fatalities.
But Johnny Fever and Venus Flytrap are cool guys. And the blonde lady, too. I just hope this is the gig I get, but I don't know, because I haven't heard from Pittsburgh or Milwaukee, so...
All I know is I'm thrilled you're trying so hard to get a job anywhere else here than on the Warren Brothers Sports Show.
By the end of today.
That's great. I hope you make it through the 19 hours of Thanksgiving traffic. You can't hear me again. All right. Paul will be back tomorrow, I hope. You hanging up now? All right, good. I don't know how he can never hear me. I don't understand. That makes no sense. How much do I care? You're seeing it. So, all right. Your Cleveland Browns defeated the Miami Dolphins Sunday afternoon at First Energy Stadium. Make sure I get all the names of everything right anymore. Let me, I can turn up my phone so I can hear me. There we go. All right. Cleveland Browns won 41-24. Second time this season we've scored more than 40 points. The other time we scored 40 in a game against the Ravens in Baltimore. So the offense is there. It's prime for the take, and you score 5 touchdowns. I mean, you don't get much better than that. You score 4 touchdowns in the first half. More or less, you could coast. I'm not saying that they were awful. They certainly could have stood to be better in the third quarter. You allow the other team to score 14 points, but we saw the same thing in the Ohio State Penn State game. Ohio State gave up 17 to Penn State. They let them back in it. Browns, they were still up 2 scores after the Dolphins put up 14. As they score, they kicked a field goal just before the half, 28-3 at the half. I mean, do you know how good that is? That's not going to happen every game, but every game in which that happens, it's got to make you feel good. Anybody, like, there were all these radio personalities who had doubts. They were all like, "Oh man, I saw 28-3 at halftime." I was like, "This happened like twice in the history of the NFL. If any team it will happen to." The Browns actually did it to a one time. The Browns were trailing 28-0 at halftime against the Titans.
This is a major wardrobe malfunction on here.
What do you got for me, associate producer Dad?
Is wearing this red jacket that's the same color as the chair she's sitting in, which makes her shoulders look from this angle like she's got like Vulcan shoulders, like for something from outer space.
All right, maybe she could have been one of those wrestlers. I forget their names.
Really a bad choice. Somebody should have told her, "Don't wear that jacket. It's the same color as the damn upholstery." You look stupid.
Is that one of our local news anchors?
No, this is Amapour at Edinburgh.
Oh, okay.
And she's wearing red too. It must be Red Day for feminist ladies. I don't know.
Well, maybe they're all in unison on something else that's red. I'll give you some Dolphin stats real quick because this is stuff that stands out to me. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, that's one of my favorite players in the NFL just over these last few years. Guy's a gritty, gutsy quarterback. He's not good enough to start a good for a good football team, but he's not bad enough to be looked at as like he's the bridge gap guy for yet another franchise, which is what he constantly is. I mean, the thing that they always the knock on him is that he throws so many picks. I mean, he's got 10 touchdowns and 10 picks on this season. Came into the game with 8-8, had 2-2 in this game, but was 21 of 39 for 214 yards. But was also the Dolphins' leading rusher on he had 3 carries for 27 yards, whatever it was, 4 for 36. Ran one in for a touchdown even. So he threw 2 touchdown passes and he ran another one in himself. Because the Dolphins' run game is the worst in the NFL, or at least one of the worst. I didn't even bother to write down any other statistics for the Dolphins, except that they ran the ball 20 times, and that's how far. I mean, they were so far out of it. You're down 28-3 at halftime. You got to pass the ball. So, their split was 66% pass, 33% run. I understand 1%'s missing. That's for coefficiency there. But their defense did record a sack. They did sack Baker Mayfield one time. Speaking of Baker Mayfield, 24 of 34. Completion percent, 24 completions, 34 attempts. That's roughly 12 of 17 math. So 1/6 and multiply 12 by 6. Is that right? 70%? Something like that? No, that's not right. Sounds like way too high of a percentage. But anyway, yeah, you triple it. Yeah, Baker might have thrown it like a 70% rate completion percentage there. That's really damn good. Baker's starting to get into the swing of it. Like, he had to win the job last year. He had to take the job away from an injured guy. You know, he wasn't exactly, you know, appointed quarterback. This year, oh, you're just the guy. Hey, this is the first time in your life everybody wants you to be the starting quarterback. Oh, what are you going to do with that, huh? Well, it didn't work well the first few weeks. But he's getting on track. He threw 3 touchdown passes and only 1 pick. And then the guy you can count on this Browns team. He's only had 1 or 2, maybe less than spectacular weeks. Every other week has been spectacular. Guys averaging 100 yards per game. And this past Sunday, he averaged 5 runs per carry. So on 21 carries for 106 yards, Nick Chubb, and he scored you that much-needed late TD. They made it 41-17 or 41-24, whatever it was in those last few minutes. As just Nick Chubb's churned it in. As here's something I don't get is people were getting all mad. You know what? Regardless of Freddie Kitchens' play calling, it's going to be wrong in the court of loud minority public opinion. It'd be the 10 to 20% of really loud, obnoxious guys on out there in the Twitterverse or on the radio or anywhere else. Why is Kitchens still passing the ball when we're up by 4 touchdowns? I mean, we're up 28-3. Why is Kitchens still passing it? And then the next day, and the Dolphins, you know, were able to come back to within 11. You know, we really took the foot off the gas there. Why weren't we trying to score more? Why put points on board? And it's, well, you get more yardage when you pass the ball. You were just complaining that we were just running it all the time. Because there's no guarantee Chubb will just pick up 10 yards on 3 straight runs. I understand what the average says, but that's the average. Chubb didn't break off that really huge 20-plus yard run, to my knowledge. I mean, did he have one of over 20? The ball distribution was between just a select few guys, but those guys did a very good job of moving the ball. And Chubb is the best player on the team. Like, I keep hearing the bemoaning of Myles Garrett being suspended and all. He's one of your best players on defense, but the way a defensive unit works is that there are several very good players. And it's the same with the offense. Our run offense, the offensive line, running the ball, blocking, scheming, all of that stuff is good. It's good. Pass rushing, pass blocking, not so good, you know. But Nick Chubb doesn't run for over 1,100 yards in 11 games, averaging over 100 yards a game, and actually running for over 100 yards in almost every single game without good blocking in front of him. And there's enough guys that you've heard on the radio is they like having the old offensive lineman on to talk. Joey Greco, Joe Thomas talks plenty in general. What these guys have to say have a lot to do. Let's see, why haven't the Browns signed Eric Berry yet? We'll get into the Eric Berry thing on the other side of this break. And that's a good question there. And I think it's the 2 or 3 answers I may have for you aren't exactly going to hit every time after I get off the phone with Paul. You almost think I do it purposely, but I don't like being deaf. I just want to tell everybody here, coming from the Warren Brothers Traffic and Weather Center, traffic, I really don't care. We should not be out driving in this the day before Thanksgiving. Outside of people who are working, don't go out. It's a bad day to go out at all, especially tonight. Don't go out tonight. These are in full force. I mean, they're just doing their jobs, but, you know, it's amateur hour. No need for it. Weather-wise, it is 56 degrees. That is also your high for today. It is cloudy. It is rainy. Another reason to not go out in this awful traffic. There's a 70% chance of precipitation tonight. 37 degrees as your low. And that's it from the Warren Brothers Traffic and Weather Center. Now on over to the Old Brooklyn News Desk. the same people who have brought you happy holidays have decided that there's no reason to celebrate all sorts of individuals, Christmases or Hanukkahs or even what's that other one from Seinfeld? You know what I'm saying? Don't celebrate, things that make you great individuals. Even if there is one. All right, Dave. Yes, promoting your own event, the Thanksgiving Eve party. I'm not going to say the address though, but it actually does sound like a good time. I even told him I might go, and that's a lot coming from me that I might do something. Now Thanksgiving there's legislation to officially get it called Turkey Day. Turkey Day. So forget your centuries of history and everything else. Turkey Day. Speaking of Dave Hughes, he's also the owner of This Guy's Painting. Not just a friend of the show, but owner of This Guy's Painting. And he needs a nice little music bed for me to tell you all about it. We'll give him the entertainer too, because it's my favorite song.
You interested in a contribution from the
Yeah, here, Dad, let me read this real quick, and then I'll go to you. Phone number for This Guy's Painting is 440-715-3282. That phone number, 440-715-3282. Message This Guy's Painting on Facebook. This Guy's Painting is a small local painting company. They will do interior and exterior work at reasonable prices, and they are insured. Just mention you heard it here from Mark Warren and receive a free estimate. You can expect a quality job done by This Guy's Painting, owned and operated by Dave Hughes. You can reach him at 440-715-3282 or on Facebook at This Guy's Painting. Remember, that phone number is 440-715-3282. And don't forget, you receive a free estimate if you mention the Warren Brothers Broadcasting Network, Warren Brothers Sports Show, Mark Warren, Paul Warren, the word Warren, keyword Warren. Warren. All right, Dad, what's up?
Okay. You know what I think would have been different? If that had happened 20 years ago, I don't think the NFL would have come out that quickly with any kind of leaked information. Because I think they wanted to control the narrative to their advantage. Because in Twitter world, the world we live in today, when your president could be tweeting in the middle of a trial, an impeachment hearing, people could, you gotta jump on everything so fast so you can take control of the narrative. Well, it backfired on. Now they don't know what to do. Now they're stuck with it. You see what I mean?
Right.
Who knows where it leads from there down the road. Next time something like that comes up, are they going to do the same thing? They're going to jump right on the bandwagon to be the first one to be on the narrative so they can control it themselves. Taking the risk that they could be wrong. You see what I'm saying?
So a big problem that the NFL has, because we're gonna touch on this Myles Garrett thing. Roger Goodell is the wrong guy to be the commissioner of the NFL. The reason why Roger Goodell is the wrong guy to be the commissioner of the NFL is because he rules with an iron fist. He needs to be in control of everything. Everything. He even puts people in places, such as Thrash and the other fella, the guys who are the ones who were supposed to be the ones to make the decision on the Myles Garrett verdict. That and again, he's a man. He's a product of his times. Because you brought up Twitter, and it's everything else too. The clickbait stuff. The fact that not only could we see it live, but we could see replays over and over and over again. And here's a good local guy. You want a good local guy to follow, and he did a really good job on a particular show on the dial between 92.2 and 92.4 yesterday on the FM. I listened to the morning one. Baskin and Robbins is their delicious ice cream but Jeff Phelps is really good on there. But Jay Crawford was their guest for a little bit. They were down at Town Hall. It's a great thing that the Browns organization and this city does, and the bar itself, Town Hall. I guess it's kind of a promotion there, but they do really good stuff there for people. And all these people are there. They're giving out free meals, all this other stuff. And then they make celebrities do it. So, that helps that business. But anyway, Jay Crawford, he gets on. He's on in between Channel 2 and Channel 4 on your television dial middays. And he does Browns preseason games. And he used to be a big deal with ESPN until they fired him. But Jay Crawford, he flat out said this, was that Roger Goodell is got to be the guy in charge. As his Crawford's daughter works as one of the 20 some producers that they have on Good Morning America, and they were leading with that story. And mind you, when that happened, we were in the impeachment trial. The NFL story knocked out the impeachment hearings, a thing that's happened only 4 times in our nation's history, the biggest news thing possibly ever. And what was bigger news than that? A Browns player bonking a Steelers quarterback on top of the head with the helmet. A fight in a football game. Put that into context, too. It's a fight in a football game. Think about it. That's all it is. Every single week there are fights in football games. I got to watch college football every Saturday to stay abreast of the Buckeyes and all this stuff. And usually by the time the pregame shows are on, there's literally nothing else on television. It's all 4 networks carries some sort of college football thing. And then a half dozen other networks do too. I mean, unless I'm going to watch Emerald cook some crap again, there's nothing else. So I'm looking at that, and constant war metaphors, constant boxing metaphors, constant fight and murder metaphors. But then it's the pro game, and it's like, well, we got to be a little more sophisticated than that. When we beat the crap out of you, it's with our pinkies up or something stupid. And so that put it into perspective that it was because Roger Goodell, as soon as he saw bad news, bad business for his brand, the thing that he's paid $40 million a year to do, well, he had to squash it right away. He had to make sure that thugger got what was coming to him. That mean, nasty, because on top of it, and this is the wonderful manipulation of our media, where I'm going to give Jay Crawford some props here, guy doing his job. And flat out saying, well, it is pretty convenient that the clip got, edited down just to the part where Myles Garrett hits him on the head with the helmet. The previous stuff, not in the clips. National clips, you don't see the post stuff of Pouncey kicking him in the head. Oh, Steelers fan is proud of that part. They've got their own T-shirts now and all this other stuff. The Cleveland T-shirts are dumb as hell. Shouldn't have Pittsburgh started it. No, you put Mason Rudolph's the one who's a bitch or something like that. You see him he's shouting at Ogunjobi and Mason Rudolph's all like, bitch. Anyway, a bunch of men acting like children. You separate them, the fight's over. It is what it is. But this definitely would have been different 20 years ago. They would have waited a week because quite frankly, it was different 15 years ago. I mean, the thing I'm pointing to was 13 years ago, but it was before Twitter was invented. It was before everything being just a soundbite. It was part of our culture then, but even then, it wasn't to the level that it is now. Hainsworth stomps on a guy's bare head with his cleat, causes 30 stitches, gets 5 games. Waits a few, we waited a few days to find that out. It all wasn't just right away. It's the most heinous thing I've seen on a football field. Outside, unless you want to get the really old-timey clips and guys in leather helmets and jump. I mean, like stuff from a Marx Brothers movie where Harpo's riding over a guy on a horse. I mean, you have to almost get into fancy land to see the worst things. But there's bad things, and there's worse things than what happened. Every single thing in this fight between Garrett, Rudolph, Ogunjobi, Pouncey, all the guys involved, there's worse things. Ultimately, like 33 people got fined, something like that, because the bench is cleared, and you can't do that in football. It's not like with baseball. It's more like basketball. You get fined if you leave the bench area.
The point I'm trying to make is whoever controls the narrative controls the narrative. So you never know what the truth is anymore, do you?
Well, no. I mean, it was one thing where people had sources, and even the sources were willing to talk. Now you just need one source. It's what some schmuck on Twitter said, and that's it. Oh, I've read it on Facebook. There's my going with it. I'm Mary Kay Cabot. I don't give a crap. I made some stuff up. I already wrote 90% of the story. I better actually ask a question so I can tag something on at the end, which is literally how most of her articles read. Hey, so Joshua, if you're there about the Eric Berry thing, I think the biggest thing is that they just can't work out a contract. I mean, what would he want to get paid at this point? It's why Kaepernick's not playing anywhere. He waited too late into this season. The only hope is maybe he can do something early if they want. The video from 06, Miami Hurricanes and the other Florida school got into a huge fight. That's a real big one. This happened several times in Florida college football. Because where's that one dude? He wasn't Boise State, because that's obviously not Florida. But there's been a few of those. Just college football. It's the whole fact that there hasn't been one like this in college. It's the word for it is indoctrinate. LeGarrette Blount. See, you remember the dude's name? That's the one. He Cole Cox the guy. How do you expect, and it's the indoctrination, football players, kids playing football every single year of their life, year after year after year, 15 years of their life, 3/4 of their life, more than 15 years in some cases even, and every single year, the same stuff over and over and over. In the Hurricane fight, not sure if you connected though. It's funny. Read the thing that Strahan says about clocking a guy who's his own teammate in a fight, hitting him with a helmet during a practice. But this was practice, and there's not 1,000 cameras around, and it was done before the times of Twitter. It's not a big deal. I mean, Goodell's just as we're all just as guilty of being a product of our times as anything else. Like, it's all right here in front of us. It's this, all of this, everything. The hell was I talking about, Dave? Well, anyway, I mean, Myles Garrett got a slightly harsher punishment than he deserved. That's what I'm of the opinion of. Mason Rudolph will probably not start another down of a game as an NFL quarterback as a starter. He's done. Unless he's able to fix up his image some and go somewhere else. And you can say all you want about bad play, and you can say all you want about, well, he did start the game against the Steelers, and that was after Garrett said something happened. Yeah, that was after Garrett said what he said. And after certain things were relatively apparent, and you know what? If it turns out he's starting the week after the Browns game, fine. Maybe he'll come in if Delvin Harris doesn't start well in the Browns-Steelers game, and they need to bring in another quarterback. I thought I saw something about he's been demoted down to third-string quarterback. I don't know. I need to delve deeper into that one. But if Rudolph is that deep down on the bench, and he's got an exceptionally strong-willed African-American head coach, makes you wonder if maybe, even if in confidence, Rudolph was trying to be apologetic. He's like, yeah, coach, I said, get off me, effing N-word. Well, all right. I hate you now because I'm Mike Tomlin, and that isn't going to fly with me. What the hell? And yeah, I can see that happen. And happen like on Monday, you know. But anyway, so sometimes you're pressed into situations. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. Just matters that where Rudolph screwed up his whole career was by pulling on Garrett's helmet after showing that he couldn't keep his composure after getting his ass beat in a football game. Baker Mayfield has had a lot of bad football games. Baker Mayfield said some smarmy things. He's been immature, but he hasn't been an out-and-out child. Mason Rudolph is a child. Baker Mayfield's, childlike. Mason Rudolph is childish. Baker's got wonderment in his eyes. He's like that little elf from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And Mason Rudolph. It's Rudolph. Yeah, that's Baker Mayfield. He's that little guy. He's like, I'm going to grow up to be a dentist. And thankfully he's got dudes like Yukon Cornelius around to be like, shut up and, just do good at quarterback and elfing. Be an elfin quarterback. That's why Baker fits this team so well. We got little Brownie the elf, and you just put Baker's face there, and it's like, I'm little Baker the elf. See, we can make fun of our own guys. And we should. A lot of these guys deserve it. Baker's got to take his wife with him to do his charity event. She's a local personality now, too. But how much of that is just because she's the dude's wife? I don't know. It's nice. It's good to do things together as a couple. End of the day, though, it's like, why are you here? Whatever. I'm going to take another break. Is what I'm going to do. Answer your Eric Berry question if you're still listening, Joshua. Honestly, unless Eric Berry can play D-line, they don't really need him right now. And even D-lines, they cut a D-lineman even. I don't understand that part. It doesn't make sense to me. A guy who played all 11 games, too. Decent D-tackle. A guy that a lot of fans liked. A lot of the local shows and stuff liked. But, if there's not room for you because Ogunjobi's coming back and they liked somebody else more, it's probably just a money matter. I mean, you want to know the complete truth of it all, Joshua? When it comes to all this stuff? And the Browns are actually bigger tightwads than the Indians. Money matters are bigger with the Cleveland Browns than they are with the Indians. And they made good moves, the Browns have, but, for the sake of the matter, on a 53-man roster, and it's different. They're different sports. I mean, you can cut one guy on a football team and save yourself $1 million or $2 million. You got to do that with about it depends on which guys on a baseball roster. That's why it's so much easier to lose that one huge guy on a baseball team. If you lose like 6 dudes you really like on a football team, you get all bummed about it. But it's like, all right, there's a lot of money to make up. And there's a difference. You got like $190 million to play with in the NFL for every single team across the board. It's all even completely salary cap wise across the board. In Major League Baseball, it's anywhere between $60 million and $240 million as your payrolls. So, I'm not about to go into a whole economics class on it. The claim will be made that I only know so much myself. And I only know so much myself. So, but Steelers fan will tell you I'm just an idiot. They're the ones who have like $40 million wrapped up in a quarterback. It's not his yearly salary. It's close to it. Over $30 million a year, I'm pretty sure. For a guy who played a game and a half this year. And wanted to retire for the last 4 seasons. And then just comes back because he's got another case against him. Hey, let me head on over here to the Warren Brothers Traffic and Weather Center. In the traffic, I don't care. I'm not going out in this nonsense today. You serious? Not only was the weather crappy, but like the day before Thanksgiving, sure, the parties are fun. That's nice. Don't drink out. At least not too much. The fools in the bars. Amateur hour, man. Go out on New Year's Eve and St. Patrick's Day and Thanksgiving Eve. Otherwise, however, let's see, when I talk during the whole damn song. So now I'm going to have to play this, try to get through it real fast. So I can make sure that I'm back in time before the song ends. It's 56 degrees. That's your high for the day as well, and that's also what the temperature currently is. It is cloudy. It is rainy. And later on, there's a 70% chance of precipitation. 37 degrees will be your low tonight. There's legislation here in the news at the Old Brooklyn News Desk. People, the same people who came up with the legislation wanting to change Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, all into Happy Holidays, have now come up with a bill that would change Thanksgiving, instead of wishing people Happy Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving being the name of the holiday, to Turkey Day. So we would all be celebrating a damn bird or something. I don't know. Turkey Day. And that's your...
Whose idea is this?
What's that, Dad?
Whose idea is that?
It's a story I made up. It's legislation coming from I mean,
But
pretty much my butt. I don't want to say AOC comes up with every stupid idea that's around. So even though according to her, I just read some tweet from her a few days ago, she's come up with like 1,000 pieces of legislation or something really ridiculous for only working for a year. Some really exorbitant lie. Let's see here. Last commercial. That is an actual commercial. Pete is not going to be happy with that. Yeah, protect the birds. Protect the turkeys. Pete will round up all the turkeys and save them. Well, you missed Paul's phone call then. Paul was telling the story of being at WKRP in Cincinnati, and the guy he was supposed to interview with couldn't interview him as he was out throwing living turkeys out of a helicopter as a promotion. Turns out turkeys can't fly. You're here on the YouTube already. Head on over to Get Out and Play with Melody. My niece, Melody Bacha, has an entertaining YouTube channel, Get Out and Play with Melody. If you yourself have kids, nieces or nephews, you're babysitting, or just like to be entertained yourself, you're already here on the YouTube. Find Get Out and Play with Melody up there in that search bar. Sit back, enjoy with your loved ones or just by yourself. Now, even though it is kid-friendly, it is, it's made by a kid. And I'm not just saying this because she's my niece. She's a little 8-year-old genius. Good stories, funny stuff. She comes up with the ideas beforehand, plots it out in her head, and throws in some ad-libs and stuff. Brilliant. In fact, it'll almost depress you if you went to school for writing or film or just at all. Just quit school now. You, whoever you are, because you're probably just some loser sitting in a classroom, not actually learning anything. You're just dictated a bunch of stuff that you're going to regurgitate yourself. You're already here on the YouTube. Check out Get Out and Play with Melody. Like, share, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. Whatever it is you got to do, check it out. Good stuff. Get Out and Play with Melody. So, real quick, we'll do a little hockey and basketball real fast. That way it's out of the way and I'm done with it and I don't have to talk about it. Because hockey should only take about 5 minutes. And that's your Columbus Blue Jackets at home tonight. They're not going anywhere in their divisional standings. I'm not sure if it was because they had fallen so far behind due to a short little losing skid, but out of their last 5 games, they've only lost 1. 4-1 in their last 5 games, and actually that loss might have been an overtime loss. I think it was an actual legit loss in regulation. But now they're facing a formidable foe. The Philadelphia Flyers, 12-7-1, even though the Flyers are just 1 or 2 spots ahead of them. It's maybe the Blue Jackets are just like in the toughest division in all of NHL hockey. I know what I said, National Hockey League hockey. I used to be a kind of against that. It was MLB baseball, Major League Baseball. It depends on the context of the situation. So Blue Jackets, they've improved to 10-9-4 with those 4 wins in their last 5 games. And they got a fighting chance at being pretty good. If they can win at home against Philadelphia Flyers, who are no slouches themselves, people try real hard to preach hockey. There's a fella on the dial between 1099 and 1101. I know him relatively personally. I went to a particular school in which he's an instructor, and he does a good job when he's on the radio. And I've had my sports debates with him, and he usually sees on my side. He's a huge flaming liberal, and mind you, I'm not a big conservative, but compared to guys like him, you'd think I was Newt Gingrich. Is that a good one? I don't know. But quite frankly, I should have just said Rush Limbaugh. That's the one people always think of. Pat Buchanan, whatever he is. He's just a camera whore. But, I mean, preaching about tired of all this football stuff. Give the NFL all this money for an inferior product, which Browns are. There's elements of that are true. But then go the route of, maybe learn up on some hockey. Like he's a hockey snob. And I mean, you're my buddy, so I like you. The way you phrase things sometimes, you got your nose so far up in the effing air. Got it, Double R. Okay, you're smarter than everybody. It's got to drive him nuts for, all right, I'll name drop. He works for Geraldo on the air, that 1 hour of real hard work that Geraldo can do nude, sitting in some room in his house, and it's all just set up so he can be on the real radio just because he's Geraldo, done almost everything you could professionally do wrong, but just because of the name. Geraldo! So he's Jewish. He's not even Hispanic. He's sort of Hispanic. And you know what? I'm not even going to get into that part of it. Anyway, so the guy was a huge liberal for decades, and now his buddy Donald Trump gets elected to president, and he's like, well, hey, you know what? I'm gonna ride this wave. Although, there's also something to be said that as you get older and as your life changes, you become more conservative. There's elements of truth to that. Not that I was ever all that liberal, and not that I'm even all that conservative. But if I lean slightly more one way than the other, I need more than just the 2 words. Can't there be other things that I can be? I've looked it up. There's pretty much just, even the definition, the dictionaries don't want you to be more than one of the 2 things. Again, it goes into that indoctrination I started rambling about earlier. That was the thing I was effing talking about. You get indoctrinated at young ages. It's why that you think particular ways that most of you do when you're in college. It's why football players have a bloodlust, a thirst for blood when they're in between the lines, and they want to murder the quarterback, and they want to smash the other guy, and they use all these words, hateful, toxic, masculine words, and they've got women in the stands yelling bloody murder. Murder them all! Die! Everybody should die! Oh, a guy hit another guy with a helmet. Well, that's just not nice. That guy's just the worst. What a thugger. my good buddy Anton even asked me like how is it a racial thing, and I think it's only mildly racial, but the more that we ignore that it's even just mildly racial, the more that it becomes more racial, because it is, at least mildly. And that's all. It's actually Goodell's fault. I mean, you just call it what it is. It is the things that it is. Punish everyone accordingly. Don't just go knee-jerk reaction. Create the narrative. And once you find out that the facts don't fit it, don't try to make the facts fit it. Be fine with changing what your initial idea was. Or maybe don't put out an indefinite suspension in less than 24 hours of the incident occurring. It's not the right way to do things. And our society is just going to keep unraveling the longer that we think making the quick snap right away decision is the best way to go, because it's not. Get the facts, straighten them out. And Dave brings up a good part right there. And it's still not, see, and this is where we have to make sure that we get this point across completely. And you weren't on the other show yet when I really delved into it. But just imagine, you're out, you're with your friends. You've got some real irate, just out of it chick who is glommed onto you guys because, the six of you've got your little microcosm, whatever word is the word, of little bit of notoriety in the neighborhood. You're all the popular kids. You're not even the popular kids. You're just a clique. You're a group. You're your group. And you got this other one, this girl. And then, you've been out. You're all of age now, so it's fine. Turns out she was a freshman back when you guys were in high school and you all were seniors. She's like, I'm just 19 now. And yeah, that's right. And you tell everybody you're in big trouble. We don't want problems. We just want you to leave. Go and leave. Well, you know what? You're an N-word lover. Or whatever it is. Probably not good stuff. If she takes a swing, it's your white lady friend. You shouldn't push her and kick her. That's not good at all. You should have people in that situation who have already contacted the police and made sure that this person who is at least partially in the wrong. See, it's not to justify the ends, but we're constantly getting to the ends and we're justifying the means when the means are all wrong too. We know without a shadow of a doubt what this girl who was egging on Kareem Hunt. That's right, Dave. And I played this all out on air on the other show. It was one of my better segments too. Young African-American female, had far too much to drink, was underage, represented herself as something else, got her way in with the group, and followed them back to his residence, or at least where he was staying that night, or whatever it was. And one of Hunt's very best long-term friends, because mind you, he's still a young man. This isn't, this isn't, and it's not even what she might have said. It's what the woman said. Went after Kareem Hunt's white female lady friend. Now, there's no documented evidence on camera, I do believe. I think there is, though. Again, you'll only ever get to see as much as they'll show you. But this woman in question that Kareem Hunt, yes, did kick about, lightly. It was in between. It doesn't matter how hard or soft it was. That does not matter. But at the end of it, if you're going to get to this level and then somebody meets you at your level and you're upset about it, you egged that person on, you were throwing crap at them this whole time and telling them they're covered in crap, and they throw some of that crap back at you, and you're like, you threw crap at me? How dare you? You gotta be kidding me. Because all it ever is now is that the retaliator gets in trouble. I think that's the thing. Because it tries to get defined only in the terms of what is okay by the side that dictates the rules in that given instance. Everything's got to be subjective to what's in the moment. Live your truth now. All of those other BS things. It is BS. Now, you can come to a decision with only the facts that you have in front of you at the time and then realize that maybe you were slightly wrong later on. But so long as it's not a knee-jerk reaction to virtually no facts whatsoever, then you're fine. That's what the problem is people are confusing opinions that since not necessarily based on truth. An opinion is not necessarily based on facts. So you can just come up with whatever BS opinion you want to anytime, all the time. And it doesn't matter if later it comes out not to be true. Well, you're going to stand by your opinion. That's where it's the worst, is you come up with these BS opinions that have no merit whatsoever, not the least bit based in anything factual. And then you stick by them, regardless of how many facts come through, simply because it was your initial opinion. And you know it's a BS opinion. Why is it so important to you to stick to that opinion even as time goes on? And it's why, like, not like I'm friends with the dude or like it matters or all these other things. All the people who keep going back to the Kareem Hunt beats women thing. The worst thing that he did, and me even just saying that it's the worst out of the things that he did, was when he beat up that guy at Kalahari. I mean, that just sounds worse. That's why they don't report on that one. He literally just like fought a dude. I think it was a Kalahari. It sounds like I'm name dropping again. Kareem Hunt just likes to fight people in popular places. Because, not that it matters if we forgive Kareem Hunt. You should forgive everybody, except Hitler. But, you know, the forgiveness. It's forgiveness. Forgive Kareem Hunt. He ever does it again, there's no more forgiveness for you. That's what happened with Callaway and Gordon. Oh, hey, you smoke weed again? Oh, well, we gave you like 9 tries, dude. Like, we gave you more tries than you deserved. Callaway was maybe 3 or 4. But it's like, Kareem Hunt does any one thing wrong, and it's like, you're done, dude. It's go sell cars. We'll play some music. I gotta start figuring out what I want to do in the second hour, because it was running a lot more smoothly when Paul was still here. Now that he always does all this weird stuff that he does, and at least he's in Cincinnati now, I guess, whatever that nonsense is. And just tell you the traffic and weather real fast, if you care. Some of you are probably out even driving in it, which makes you braver souls than I, because I don't care what the traffic is, because I know it's bad. It's the day before Thanksgiving. So be careful out there. Don't drive like an a-hole. Weather-wise, it's 56 degrees. Cloudy, rainy. More reason for me to not want to drive in it. I'll tell you that much. And that 56 degrees, that's the high. We've already reached our high for today. Tonight you can expect a low of 37. And 70% chance of precipitation. With a low like that, it's the one reason why it makes sense to go out tonight. So maybe you got somebody to stay warm with. Ugh. I do not miss bar days. Coming to you from the old Brooklyn news desk is in the news. Legislation coming from particular camp. People who came up with the Happy Holidays reform, claiming that it's not nice to wish people a Merry Christmas or a Happy Hanukkah or something that, I don't know, would actually celebrate cultural differences, really. Have now deemed that Thanksgiving should be called Turkey Day to praise and worship the indigenous people that the Pilgrims all murdered with birds. No real.
That was Weasel Stomping Day.
Weasel Stomping Day?
Yeah.
Does that have something to do with the indigenous people of America? Okay. Yeah, it's minus the boots. They were using moccasins back in the day. You probably can't stomp a weasel too good in a pair of moccasins. Damn it! Moccasins. Moccasins. You know, those are the footwear that gets made fun of the most. Moccasins. They're constantly giving other shoes a hard time. They're moccasins. There's your pun of the day. I do want to ask you all of anybody who has been, will be, or is now listening. Please click that notification button. That helps me out. Maybe it helps you out. Maybe you'll be notified and actually want to watch this turd of a program or any other turd programs I put out there. So, Dave, value your friendship and your viewing. Same goes for you, Joshua. Even if you dropped off theirs, I never really addressed the Eric Berry thing, probably in a way that you would have wanted. But yeah, re-signing Hunt. We'll delve right back into that. Now that I've told you that, I would love for you to just subscribe, follow, like, whatever it is. Find me on the Facebook. Warren Brothers Sports Show. You follow Paul's blogging on there about his various. I mean, it's the only way it can even still be the Warren Brothers Sports Show. Because I mean, like, look at that. The guy's constantly not here because he's jet setting across the plains. I don't know. It's not even. What are we? We're the Midwest. The Midwest, beefy Midwesterners. But yeah, no, re-sign Hunt. Good with that. You know that it's going to wait till the off season. There's nothing they can do right now. I don't even know who his agent is and all that kind of stuff. Didn't he get that high flight agent? And because it was really weird, is he played like 3 games in the AAF, all sorts of just weird stuff. That whole situation. Like how do you re-sign a guy who they really don't want in the league? Quite frankly. You know what's really bad in regards to where we are as a society and where how bad our real news cycle has gotten, and it all just seems like it's like old episodes of America's Funniest Videos would have been parallel to what I watch on the news most mornings now. It's the 9 o'clock news on the channel, between 9 and 7. And I got this. He's actually a friend of my brother-in-law too, even, I'm pretty sure. But he's not a head anchor. He did fine doing the other job that he used to do. And I don't dislike everything he does, but he's not a head morning anchor. And I think it's mostly because the dude that I like, Wayne Dawson, only wants to do 1 or 2 days a week anymore, and he can afford to do that because he's like a big local celebrity. And, you know, when you're a big local Cleveland celebrity, you're like still really nobody, but you're kind of somebody because we do that here in Cleveland. I mean, like, I personally am a big fan of a guy who used to just go to Browns games, and I got to meet the guy, and like it's kind of his friend, sort of, even the guy who would dress up as Big Dog in the 80s and 90s. He's a really nice person. I enjoyed talking to him. He knows his sports. It was like meeting a celebrity. He's not a celebrity. The guy was like a firefighter. But he dressed up like a weird jerk and helped create the Dog Pound. Hanford Dixon and that guy, Big Dog, his actual name. Well, not his actual name. He's got a real generic name. I won't give it out because, I don't know, it's a whole complicated mess with friends and families and stuff. But anyway, him, personally, good guy. Normal dude. Nobody's famous. That's what we do in this town. We're like, oh, that's the guy who was Big Dog? Oh, man, can I get your autograph? I'm going to sign it Big Dog? Put my real name on there, you're going to have no clue. Anyhow, point being, hey, the phone's ringing. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, this is Paul. I'm on a bus from Cincinnati to Cleveland.
I thought you were driving.
And no, we weren't driving. See, the car the rental car got melted and we can't use it. So, but Mike Lipton, the Northern Pals guy, he's still with me. And actually, there's some people both singing. They're singing Tiny Dancer. Oh, here comes the best part. Hold me closer, Tiny Dancer. Count the headlights on the highway. Yeah, I'm on my way home. Those Aren't Pals guy isn't singing. He thinks otherwise about this music, but so.
Well, the really weird thing was the only person I heard singing was you. Man, it's almost like you're almost famous or something.
Yeah. Just that someone started singing it, and we all started singing it, and then everyone laughed at that part.
Hey, do you ever sometimes feel like a golden god?
No.
These are lines from the movie, anyway. So you're on a bus. You want to elaborate?
Hello?
Do you want to elaborate on that about being on a bus?
No, it's just we're on a bus from Cincinnati to Cleveland. It's a dog bus, most famous one. And so I'll be in Cleveland in like 5 hours from now. Traffic pending.
Now, hang on. Are you implying that there's a bunch of dogs on the bus? Or are you implying that the bus is shaped to look like a dog?
No, it's a Greyhound.
Oh, you just didn't want to. Okay, it's called a Greyhound. Because it would have been more fun if you had all these jerks singing this song, and then all of a sudden all these dogs are barking along in chorus like like little gay Pomeranians dressed like Elton John. Fancy sunglasses.
No, that didn't happen.
See, Mutt Mobile, I was thinking Dumb and Dumber too. That was my first thought. Going to Stillwater? Where the hell's Stillwater? Who? I'm reading the comments. See, you can't see them because I know you don't watch the show.
Well, I'm not by a computer, so. But
that's a good point. You're on a fictional bus. So, all right. Yes, go ahead.
So I'm going to be coming home soon. I'm going to have some stuff to bring over, and I hope you enjoy this misadventures of Paul.
Well, I certainly didn't enjoy it, but it, ate up time and killed listenership. So thanks for that.
Right.
Yes. You've ruined the show. That's. Did you call me dumbass? Okay, so I ruined the show then.
Well, no, but you've almost bankrupted us. I've gotten the receipts from all of your goings arounds and everything. You've put us tens of thousands of dollars in debt here at the Warner Brothers Broadcasting Network. You're really going to have to go to patreon.com and subscribe. Warner Brothers Broadcasting Network. So tell your friends, Paul.
Okay, I'll see you then.
All right. Well, happy Thanksgiving until I see you tomorrow and can hopefully actually wish you a happy Thanksgiving in person.
Okay.
All right. I love you, Paul.
Okay.
Okay, then. All right. Bye. I do actually love him. I mean, he's a huge pain. Never says it back. What a dick. Well, anyway. Yeah. He literally was quoting Almost Famous. They're from Stillwater. Good memory, Dave. I've never seen the whole movie. I just remember the part where he's standing on the roof of the house and shouts, "I am a golden god!" And he jumps into the pool and they think he's dead. And also, is that the dude that the guy from My Name Is Earl plays? Jason Lee? I like Jason Lee. It is one of your favorite movies. It is. It's the whole reason why we all think we can do these things that we do now and do them well, because you had that one guy who managed to do it and is really famous for doing it. And what the hell? Howard Hawk. It's the actual real name. Howard Hawk, I think, was a guy who made movies in the 30s and 40s, the director from back then. Nothing worse than when I still got half an hour to go and I feel the poops coming on. Oh, it's in there. And did I even grab my? Yeah, it's over there. All right. So no. Anyway. Yeah.
we're not going to talk about movies. I think we've covered actual Browns stats from the Browns Dolphins game. Because I had reached the point where Chubb had run 21 times for 106 yards and a TD, and I told you in the Sausage Fest halftime show on Sunday that Chubb would run for a touchdown in the second half because Hunt already had one in the first half. Ran 8 times for 37 yards. Chubb and Hunt were also vital to the passing game, but Landry, 10 receptions, 148 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Old BJ, 6 receptions, 84 yards, and a touchdown. It's looking like they're kind of figuring out how to play this offense the way it should get played. It wasn't like they were just all just going to get on the field week 1 and be all like, oh, everything's going to be perfect. We're going to go 14-2. Anybody who legitimately thought that's not know football. Like, seriously. I don't care how big a Browns fan you are. There's a difference between living in fantasy land and being a fan of a Browns football team. I want to point out some key things about our defense. Defensive tackle Richardson had 2 sacks, came up big in that game. We needed him between penalties and suspensions on the defensive line. Hopefully Olivier's back. That dude's missed a lot of time this year, but we've almost played better without him. He's got to fill that hole that's there now that Garrett's out on suspension. But Ogunjobi's back too. So your line is fortified. I think that's a big reason why they cut the one fella that they did, even though he'd played 11 games. Olivier better be coming back. So he can go make a sack, pull a guy's helmet off, and hit him over the head with it too. TJ Carey, he had a sack. A big play by him. I'm a big fan of his. Good safety. Joe Schobert, who I'm also fairly certain, I think he won the defensive player of the week or some nonsense. He had a couple picks on Sunday afternoon, and this fella's name, I saw Gustin with a sack. I was like, who is this guy? His name's Porter Gustin. He was filling in on the defensive line, playing end. Came up big with a sack because I remember that from Sunday's game even too. I was like, who is this guy? And a little bit that you see looking into him, a huge bulking dude, scary guy, man, scary. He'd better be careful and not rip the African American's helmet off, since Hodges is an African American guy. He hits him with that, then it's a hate crime. Since a black dude did it to a white guy, you just get an indefinite suspension. White guy doesn't do a black guy. I don't know. We can talk Cavs going into this last bit here. Just want to remind everybody also that this is WBBN, the Warren Brothers Broadcasting Network, here on the YouTube. The views and opinions of this program don't express those of ownership, because ownership is vehemently against cronyism and nepotism. You can just ask executive producer Dad, or my co-host, my brother, Paul Warren, who is called twice today. And all of my friends in the live chat, such as Dave Hughes and Joshua Rivera, people who are friends of mine, who are the only people who ever join the live chat. Because apparently people who don't know me.
How's your friend Ben Ghazi doing?
Oh, there hasn't been any news on Benjamin Ghazi as of late. He's been pretty quiet since that whole what's the fella's name? Jerry Epstein thing's coming back into the news. They're biding their time. They're biding their time. Oh,
biding their time, huh?
That's right.
Maybe they're gonna buy some stock in Disney.
Oh, we spend hours on Disney stuff. So the entire world is owned by Disney anymore, it seems. Got to see another damn Disney movie. And every movie you go to see is a damn Disney movie. It's not like it was when we were kids and that meant, oh, you're going to go see some cartoon or something. It's like, no, I'm going to see Star Wars. Because it's some damn crappy Disney movie. I never liked Star Wars in the first place, though. I don't know. You guys argue with me all you want. It's not even a crap story. It's just that it's not good. So I'm going to believe that we had better technologies back then in a land in a time far, far away, and chloramites and exflederalians. That's if I need made up languages, I'll just read a book by like a Scottish author, Tiz and Taint and all those things. Just read something by let's see, whatever the hell, Angela's puppet, Ashes. What?
Puppet, pork chop, and lamb chop.
And so yeah, it's Disney owns everything anymore, and that's too bad. And just play this out because I like the song, and we'll be back for our final segment, of course, which is what did you get out of the end, or what came out of the end, or whatever the hell we've named this stupid thing. Just want to remind everybody in the traffic and weather, coming to you from the Warren Brothers Traffic and Weather Center. Traffic-wise, I don't care. Really. Don't go out. It's a terrible day to go out. People are going on about finishing their Thanksgiving shopping. Should have done it already. Bad call. Bad call. And also because the weather's going to be garbage. We've already reached our high of 56 today. It's cloudy, it's rainy. It's only going to get cloudier and rainier. There's a 70% chance of precipitation tonight with a low of 37 degrees. Go out if you dare. It's fun. Have a good time. Don't get wasted, though. That goes back to traffic. And, unless you're going to die the day before Thanksgiving, if you're going to go see family, it'd be a bummer. Make Christmas a little less fun. And, of course, in the news, the same people who came up with Happy Holidays to replace saying such as Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah, so as to not offend anybody who's really easily offended, might find some way to find Happy Holidays to be offensive in the next 5 to 10 years. Now come up with legislation to change Thanksgiving to Turkey Day, because who cares about murdering millions of turkeys? I guess it's not good. Remember, anytime that you're watching us here on the Warren Brothers Sports Show, head on over to patreon.com, find the Warren Brothers Broadcasting Network, subscribe, so you can tell us what you want to see on this. I'll start checking it more again, because I've been lazy the last week or two. That's just honesty on my part. And then, of course, I just want to tell everybody that I'll just play the outro song in 20 minutes when it's time. I just also want to tell everybody to like, share, subscribe, sign up for the notifications so that you know I'm going to be on air. This way you can enjoy a couple hours of your day, because I'm the best part of your day. Your day's awful without me. That's not true. So, not really going to start looking ahead into the Browns-Steelers stuff today. I've already made a handful of comments. They're there. Like, as soon as the last game's over, you look forward to the next one. And unfortunately, other time, too many people just look ahead. That happens. But, real quick, Cleveland Cavaliers take. They have a 6-game homestand, and they're already 1-1 on it. A close loss to the Nets, 108-106 last night. Not last night, Monday night. I'm sorry. Kevin Love sat out, and I am of the opinion that Kevin Love is more important to the Cleveland Cavaliers than Kyrie Irving is to the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets are 5-1 without Kyrie Irving. The Cleveland Cavaliers have a tough time winning ball games without Kevin Love. Ipso facto, Kevin Love is more important to the Cleveland Cavaliers than Kyrie Irving is to the Brooklyn Nets. Kelly Clarkson came off the bench, scored 23. Larry Nance Jr. had 20, starting in the place of Kevin Love. But that's where it laid the problem. Thompson only scored 7 points, had 10 boards. When Kevin Love's not out there, it's easier to hone in on Thompson. And even his somewhat limited offensive game, Thompson's gotten better. The things that he is good at doing get shut down. Sexton scored 18. Osmond had 15. I was surprised. Osmond had another slow start out there and wasn't looking good. And Garland racked in 11. I think he had 7 assists. So that was good to see, in my opinion. Tonight, the Orlando Magic come to town. The Cavs have it's one of those really crappy losses. We lost like 5 straight there. Each game was by like 15, 20, 30 points. Magic, the one against the Mavericks was by 40. Lost that one in Dallas by 40. So tonight they'll host the Orlando Magic. Hopefully they can hang in there. I mean, this is what you're gonna get from the Cavs most of the season. There's something like 3-5 at home, and 2-7, or no, 4-5, 4-6 at home, and 2-7 on the road. I mean, they're gonna be atrocious on the road. But if you could play about 500 ball at home, you won't have a complete disaster of a season. You'll go like 9-32 on the road. If you go 20-21 at home, still not what I want. But, these are the growing pains, as they like to say in pro sports terms. We had about 20 years of them with the Browns. And at least the Cavs seem to. And LeBron comes back in a couple more years and it'll be fine. Right off into the sunset. Son can play point guard. We'll draft him right out of high school or however it'll work. Find some exception. Make up our own rule for him. The NBA's done that. They did it for Jordan. Might as well do it for LeBron too. Mostly did it for Kobe. Dude could have seen jail time. Kobe. Actually, some of the stuff that Jordan did is damn near criminal too. I'm not going to get into some of those things. Poor guy suffered in some senses. But it's also why you shouldn't. If you have a major gambling problem, call this phone number on the bottom of the screen. Do you imagine Jordan having to do those commercials like that? That would have been part of his penance back in the mid '90s. Michael Jordan, like, I have a gambling problem. Gambling problems affect 1 out of every 20 Americans. I'm one of them. I'm a degenerate gambler and mild alcoholic. Or maybe it was different times. I don't know. I'm basically out of the fact that I saw it old Sports Illustrated. He's just on a bus playing cards with Scottie Pippen and other guys on the team. And he's just got a Budweiser sitting next to him. Just slamming it. The old like pull top ones too or something. It might have been from the late 80s. I don't know. They were on a bus on top of it. We're still traveling by bus then. Maybe, even better if it would have been like from the hotel to the game. I just lost 50 large. I mean, Barkley's a huge degenerate gambler too. And maybe it was something about the 90s. A lot of guys from the 90s gambled a lot. A lot. That goes into stand-up comics and even your local radio personalities. For once they kept gambling into the 2000s, they wound up spending a little bit of time in jail. All bets are off on that one. Anyway. Man, I'm going all over the place with stuff. I'm starting to think of local guys. It's starting to kind of aggravate me a little bit too. Because I'm nobody. And I have a lot of confidence in myself. If you haven't noticed that. Well, I'm sitting here and thinking about stuff. And sometimes you just kind of like wonder what happened to particular guys. Like whatever happened to Chuck Galletti? Like he even still had a show a few years ago. What happened to that guy? I mean, I've heard numerous things, but anyway. I'm going to change my last name back to the more Italian sounding last name of my ancestors. Maybe that'll get me a gig in this town. That's only partially a knock. Mostly on Rizzo. Because that's not even what his last name, that's not what his father went by, if I remember correctly. as I'm really off topic now. I started going in a different direction than what I had planned on it. Also with the whole happy holidays thing, that little pseudo news report, it actually did come out. Trump was at a rally on Tuesday evening in the afternoon, whatever it was, time. It's merely a concept. And so he's down there, he's in Florida, and he said there are certain people that wanted to change the name of Thanksgiving. We wouldn't have it. We're not changing the name of Thanksgiving. It's going to stay Thanksgiving. Make America turkey again. Make America cranberry sauce. The jellied kind. I like the shape of the can. The little berries, not good. Not delicious. I like eating stuff shaped like cans. And so, thanks. But I'm waiting for the day that the sayings that are the politically correct sayings that genuinely do sound slightly more offensive become the things that actually really offend the people who are offended by everything. Even though they're the ones that came up with it, supposedly. But like 10 years from now, people are like, you can't say happy holidays. The seasonal depression. The suicide rate. What's so happy about it? You should just wish people holiday. In fact, that's the only right song to play. All the other ones are about rape and white supremacist Christmases. There's only one truly right holiday song. It's by Madonna. Holiday, celebrate. Holiday, celebrate. Holiday, celebrate. Simple enough. Everyone will be happy, so long as you don't force your happiness upon them. Just have vague, general, pseudo, not at all happiness. Fake, slapsticky, pseudo joy. That's there's a rainbow. Won't say what other people make me say. I know that, Dave. It's part of the reason why you and I get along. And you're the only one who's watching me do this show anymore. No, that's a partial joke. As I reached 7 at one point today. Quickly saw it hit 7 and then slide back down to 3. But it did hit 7 for a moment. It's because I think people clicked on it, realized what it was. It was like, oh no, this is terrible. What's he talking about? I glanced over and I was on some real stupid ramble about something stupid that I tend to do. And man, hey Dave, I'll ask you since you're there in the live chat. What did you get out in the end? What came out of the end for you? Yeah, however it is we word it. Man, I have it somewhere. Paul's always moving stuff, even though he hasn't been here. The Donald Duck thing. Make sure that's in the shot. Move the microphone too. Now the other microphone's in the way. Just hold them up there. This is what Paul considers decorating. Snoring in the background. You can't see him down there. Oh, actually, you see him better down there. Should have just had him there the whole damn time. At this point, what the hell does it matter? Oh, it's actually better if you move him back. You see, because in the Disney Christmas Carol with Mickey Mouse and Scrooge McDuck, I think that was the reason why that character was created, right? It was just for that thing. It was made in like 83, like the year I was born. So Donald Duck is going around and he's his nephew. And he's, playing the role of that one jerk who's in there for like 2 minutes in the real Christmas Carol. Like we all know the story of the Christmas Carol. And he's got all these wreaths. He's like, hey, I really hope you come by, Uncle Scrooge, and have a turkey dinner. Or hopefully it's not a duck dinner. That'd be messed up. You got all these ducks and they're eating turkey. And mice. Ducks and mice. Goofy was Marley. That was my favorite. Let's see. What came out of the end for Dave? Thanksgiving evening is the best made-up holiday. I don't know. I don't really have anything to add to that there. I think the fact that what is it? My Uncle Joe has noticed this at places he works because he'll get a different jobs time to time. He just had this new one recently, and call centers, those kinds of things, and everyone in the room was asked what their favorite holiday was. There's all these millennials and the generation after millennials, because my uncle, he's in his mid 40s, and I'm in my mid 30s, and we're the beginning of the millennials, where we're still like, nah, it's all stupid, and we don't fit in with the extras either, and all this other stuff. As my uncle Joe doesn't fit in with the extras either, but you get all these young people and you ask them what their favorite holiday is, and they'll answer, my birthday. Because your birthday is a holiday in the minds of the people who are out there anymore. Oh, and are they out there? I always answer that my favorite holiday is Arbor Day. And that really throws people off if I were to have a favorite holiday. Because what I'm saying is your birthday is a made-up holiday. I mean, just ask a Mormon. Isn't that it? Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate birthdays. But Thanksgiving Eve is pseudo. I could make a case for even Thanksgiving Adam. It's something who hasn't been working as much as he was before. Ever did holiday. Oh, I gotta find some way to get on government assistance to really piss you all off. No, I couldn't do that. Let's see. Your birthday is your favorite day, but never classified as a holiday. That's the right way of putting it, Dave. See, that's where, regardless of whatever generation it is that people are in, or any such things, we just have a good perspective of it. Until I was about 30, my birthday was a day I enjoyed greatly. Although, in many respects, having a December 15th birthday, I don't like my birthday. There's a song by the band Say Anything, and it's my favorite birthday song. It's one of my favorite songs. It says, I want death for my birthday, because I love life. I just think it's clever. And it's how I feel about my birthday. Not necessarily that I want to die, but having your birthday so close to Christmas, and any other people who are like me, it's another reason why Sagittarius is, some Capricorns are the way that we are. Not that I buy a ton into that kind of stuff, but if there's any one thing that I thought was true in it, it's when it comes to Sagittarius. Not just because I am one, but if there's one that sounds right, it's that one. Most of the other ones seem like phooey to me most of the time, because just about all of them are generic. But when it comes to Sagittarius stuff, it's like, yeah, no one likes me. This is exactly right. It's the only one that's like this. You only get along with other Sagittariuses. Huh, that's pretty much it. Or that one other thing. Man, I'm gonna try to make it through these next 9 minutes. I'm gonna poop. It's right there. Like I don't even want to fart. Oh, did anyway. No poop though. Thank goodness. Wow, that felt close. It's that big sandwich I had for lunch. Try to eat at 11 when I eat before the show. So I did that today. Shouldn't have. It's pushing other stuff down. Pork chops and rice and beans from yesterday. I'm a really damn good cook. Just so you know. Not that I cooked the sandwiches, but I cooked the pork chops and the rice and beans and made them myself. Like, cooked up the tomatoes and onions and garlic. Cooked up the rice. Cooked up the beans in with the tomatoes and onion and garlic and put it all together, and then cooked up the pork chops. All seasoned, all of that. Because I'm a good cook. But, we don't need that stuff anymore. You can just live off chicken nuggets for your entire life. Like I say in my Patreon pitch. You spend more money on your future crap when you go and run over to fast food place to pick up your future poop. And it's killing you. And you think you're eating plants. You're just eating the same garbage that's in your cheese poofs. But it says it's plant-based. Yeah, I put this whole paste together. It's not plant-based. It's plant paste. Anyway, it's the world we live in. It's the world we live in. A thing living inside of someone is not a life. But these other things are food that aren't food. Nothing is what it is anymore. It's fine. I'm not saying your jizz is alive. That's not true. Not even in those first few days. Listen, I'm not going to get into that. I don't even know why I brought it up. I'm really mad at Steeler Girl. The 60-year-old girl. Woman on Twitter goes and blocks me. The whole thing is what's funny to me. Is that Browns fans are a little over the top. We're really thinking far too highly of ourselves. I mean, we weren't winning ball games. Could I say that we have a better team than the Steelers? Yeah. Is the Steelers defense really freaking good? Yeah. Could the Steelers beat us in Pittsburgh on Sunday? Yes. I'm not saying that's a guaranteed win for the Browns. I'm actually going to pick the Steelers. That's what I'm going to do. I don't feel good about it, but it's what I'm going to do. Same time, heart of hearts, deep hope. Browns forced 7 turnovers and went 51-0. If you get the reference, you know. Every single year I do this. Got that hope deep down. I'm going to cook a turkey breast. I'm going to make food. I already bought it. It's in the fridge. So I went out yesterday and did this. Not even for Thanksgiving. It's for Sunday after. Can of cranberry sauce. Stuffing. Got plenty of potatoes. I didn't buy milk. Yeah, I could do that Saturday. Anyway. I'm not going into it thinking we're just going to be world beaters. Or quarterback beaters. I'm just saying. Feel kind of good about our chances. Yeah, I'm actually going to do an hour tomorrow, Dave. That's why it's kind of tough with our thoughts. Do you want to... Paul plans on being here, and it's why I want to do something. My sister initially said be over at her house at 1. But I'm thinking, I had already told her 2. So if Paul shows up at the house at 11, which is when I'm going to go pick him up in my car, real life, and go on noon, do the first half an hour celebrating Paul coming back. Maybe I can make a prodigal son joke that one Lutheran will understand. Maybe a Catholic out there if you're watching. And then, the game's at 12:30. Man, that's too early. I was going to have you call me at 12:30. Let's do the Thursday picks. Call me at 12:30, and we'll just do the Thursday picks, and then on Friday we'll do the rest. Is that a plan? Eventually he'll answer me in the live chat. But anyway, so this woman, she gets all indignant because it starts off with, Browns fan way up here. We've made these shirts. It's all Pittsburgh started it. All right, cool. Good job, Dave. So Pittsburgh started it. Okay, we're dumb. But then Pittsburgh has this other one, and it's something like they always brag about the same handful of things. And the Pittsburgh started it thing on our end is stupid. It is. I don't like that saying either. It does sound like children bickering. But Pittsburgh always has the when did Cleveland last win a Super Bowl? Dude, it's let's Cleveland won 7 championships. Well, that was before it was the real NFL. I'll give you this. I'll credit the Steelers for the one when they beat the Seahawks when they shouldn't even been in that damn game because the Colts played a better game than them. Something feels really weird about that Vanderjagt miss. Bet she's a much richer man than he would have. Well, no, I'm not going to get into conspiracies about Vanderjagt missing that kick on purpose with his stupid earring. And it just being a real nice story that the bus plays his last game in Detroit, his hometown. Football's been wrestling for a lot longer than it has. It's not. This is in the last 3 years. It's regardless. Those Raiders teams in the 70s were better than those Steelers teams. Anyway, 4 Super Bowls in the 70s. Because that's the other funny thing about it. That was before the NFL was the NFL. I mean, we're going to do all those things. We're going to like compare general closenesses. If you want to give the Steelers credit for the stuff that they did in the 90s and now, awesome. I'm with you there. Even though technically both of those wins were in the 2000s, weren't they? The Seahawks one was actually before the Cardinals won. My timelines are terrible. I am really bad at this. Quite frankly, not only because in the last 20 years I've had very little reason to care about the playoffs, the Super Bowl isn't the best game. Whatever team gets there, it's a dud most of the time. I watch the championship games. Those are the best games. Division playoff weekend, a lot of fun too. Actually, just the playoffs until you get to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl's a dud. NBA is a lot like that. I digress because now I'm starting to just ramble. But the fact of the matter was, some Steelers fan going on about, Browns fans are talking a lot of smack for being a franchise that went 50 years without winning a championship. It's really amazing to me how much people don't remember the world before 3 years ago. Yeah, I'll go with 3. 3 is the right number. Before Twitter blew up, before every friend of yours was on Facebook, before the world is at your fingertips. It's right there. Everything you ever need. You don't have to leave your house. You can order food online. You can talk to all these people that you don't actually really know, and they're your friends, and we collect them, and they're all there, and we're all together. And so we forget historical references. We only put it in our constructs. And so the thing about Cleveland went 50 years between major sports championships. And well, all right, sorry that, Pittsburgh's longest drought was 35. A random woman jumps in. Just she happened to be on the particular thread I commented on, but I was backing up a Cleveland guy who had like 3 or 4 Pittsburgh people, and she was one of them. Tell him what a noob he is and what a moron he is. And he's not really giving it to him real hard. He's just stating some facts. And it's like, yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh's longest drought was only 35 years. So when it attacked me for having like 1/10 as many Twitter followers as her, I only have 135. I'm not big on Twitter. She points that out. Ooh, witty. Which one of your 135 followers did you get that from? I'm sorry that I didn't show my boobs or open up my crotch to get 1,000 Twitter followers, or whatever it is that your geriatric ass did. Steeler girl. So I decided I'll just go crude because, I've already screwed up. I just put a random fact up there that she didn't like. So I figured out which one of my Twitter followers, probably just your big fat mama. While she was giving me a blumpkin. And if you're not familiar with that term, have a parent explain it to you. Or a filthy friend. In fact, it's the part where I hope if my nieces are watching, don't worry about it. Explain tomorrow during an awkward dinner. And fact of the matter is, she's all about, that's where a Browns fan would go. So you were the one who started with the ignorant comment, but now you're higher and mightier because I replied with ignorance. And so I told her as much, pointed her out on her own bull. She said, goodbye forever. And I just pointed, well, too bad this is goodbye. Till next time, because this isn't the first time. I'll see you then. And she put an emoji. And I'm like, so is the emoji the goodbye forever? Since goodbye forever wasn't goodbye forever? Eventually she just blocked me because I started using logic. And, I just told her I was playing down to my opponent, which would be her. You can't do that over the phone. It's on a phone. It's on Twitter. And I wouldn't have anyway. See, my biggest issue there, Dave, is I don't need to resort to violence most of the time. Most people won't get violent with me, first of all. I had this discussion yesterday at the particular place where you can save a little bit. I'll occasionally stop there and shop once in a while, even though I got fired from the place a year and a half ago. it's all going downhill. It's just the nature of the game with the place in the grocery industry. And I was having these discussions with people who, mind you, this is a year and a half after I got fired, who were telling me, oh, I heard all you had to do was come in and make a statement as to why you didn't do what you did. That was never offered. Either HR, whom I was in constant contact with, never bothered to tell me that or lied to me or something. My store manager at the time never bothered to get a hold of me, and the district manager at the time, and I knew the fella. He was one to pass the buck. Probably told the store manager to call me, and the store manager never did. The guy would call me 3 or 4 times any other time just to bother me about nothing. It was just stuff that was happening at the store, stuff he wanted me to do that he didn't do, or something. Call me on my day off to see how I'm doing. That never happened. He would constantly call me at the store like, did you get this thing done? Like, what thing? What is that? I did 9 other things. This thing too? Yeah, I'll do it now. You should have done it first. I'm just learning of it now. So that was just how that guy operated. And ultimately what it came down to, and the reason why I don't tend to have to get physically violent, is the guy in particular. So Dave, you would have looked like Andre the Giant in comparison to this dude. That's a huge exaggeration, but it should put it a little bit into perspective. You would have like you don't really look like one of the Mario brothers, and I only say it because he looked like Luigi, this fella I'm talking about, who used to be a boss of mine, and but he would have been Mario and you would have been Luigi. You're tall in comparison to him. So this guy, and just from day one when we were both assistant managers, I have been with the company about 2 or 3 years longer than him, maybe even longer than that. But he was a fast track guy. Him and his boss are buddies from the Tops days, so I know the game. I know how it all goes. He didn't like me from the get-go, because I've always done things the way I do things, which is the right way, but not the way you tell me to do it. It's productive, but it's like when Bernie Kosar calls an audible, throws a touchdown pass, and Bill Belichick gets mad at him just because he called an audible. I'm Bernie Kosar. So anyway, that's the best parallel I can give you. And so, since that guy and I butted heads from back then, it was stated exceptionally well in the way that it was told to me by another coworker of both of ours, is that this particular guy, he was the kind of guy who got stuffed in the lockers when he was in high school. He just looks like that dude. And I never had any animosity towards him. I make my jokes. It's what I do. And it just so happens that I'm fairly certain that I look like the kind of guy who would have done locker stuffing. And that's something that's going to haunt me for the rest of my days, because I'm a big, strong, tall, good-looking Anglo-Saxon American man who looks like he's the aggressor. And I'm not. That's a problem. I'm a nice guy. My court records might not indicate as such. But no, I don't know. All I'm saying is don't always judge a book by its cover. Just I do with I do that with all Steelers fans. All Steelers fans are morons. You all look stupid. Get some teeth. Stop inbreeding. Brush them. Not get some. Just brush your damn teeth. Stop, drinking moonshine from sun up to sundown, which even at this time of year is still 12 to 14 hours a day. Yeah, pretty much just branch out on that family tree. It shouldn't be a straight line. I guess that's basically what's come out at the end for me there. What's come out at the end for me is that Steelers fans are morons, and some Browns fans are jerks and idiots. I will not I cannot deny that. Some of us are, but they're not indicative of the majority of us. The majority of us didn't the paper champions thought we were going to be 12-4, 14-2. We actually know something. We're just going to start getting committed to that. Any fools who had us at that, even if they're very good friends of mine, most of us saw that schedule and had us at 2-5 going into the Denver game. And that's all there is to it. I mean, this isn't rocket science, but it also is something that indicates, you know, being able to excuse ourselves for being idiots. Yeah, some of us are dumb. Some of us say some dumb stuff. We weren't just going to automatically be 11-5 and 12-4, whatever it was. I didn't have the Ravens at 9-2, and one of their 2 losses being to us in Baltimore. Weird stuff does happen. But man, it felt great watching us beat the Dolphins. Good win. You played 1 bad quarter. You forget that after playing 2 really good quarters and then wrapping up the game in the 4th. Three quarters of a football game? Yeah, I'll take that every week. But here's the big thing. We're going into Pittsburgh. It's a huge holiday weekend. We've got Ohio State, Michigan. We've got turkeys and shopping. I'm not doing any shopping. Screw you, Black Friday, all of that stuff. Browns, Steelers, Pittsburgh. Big stuff happening there. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And until next time, this time has been the most recent. Good day to you. You know, like for Dave and Paul and Josh and